What's up? Usually I don't do pickup videos until I've had a chance to clean everything off, but it's been a really long day, and it's probably going to be extremely late before I even get a chance to touch these, so figured I'd just go ahead and do my video now. Today I went to CCAG in North Olmsted, Ohio. It was held at the Soccer Sportsplex, which is an indoor soccer field. Usually it's touted as the largest convention in Ohio, but I gotta tell you, this year I was kind of disappointed. CCAG was my first experience into the gaming convention circuit way back in 2012, and whenever I went to that one, I was still very green as far as the collecting scene, and at the time I thought it was amazing. Guy had a little Samson for $500 and had a Nintendo World Championship for $2,000, and there was the NES test cartridges. There was some awesome Famicom stuff. I remember there being a gold-plated Famicom Punch-Out. Some other incredibly rare stuff. I remember Pop Full Mail was like $80, and I was blown away by that. And I didn't go for the past 2 years just because of the distance and because Korgs pretty much took up a lot of my money. But, 3 years later, I'm making better money. I'm a lot smarter about saving and everything. And I've hit up some really great conventions this year. I started off the year at the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Came back home, went to Korgs in May in Columbus. Then I hit up CCAG today, and I think the last one I'm going to hit up is ACEC, and then I'm probably going to hang up my hat for a while. I got some other stuff that I need to start focusing on, family and everything. So, but before I get started on this, I got a gripe. This show was bad. It wasn't bad because of the way it was put together. The promoters did an awesome job of putting it together. Had a nice large space. Vendors had plenty of room to be selling in. There was enough room to maneuver in. But pricing was horrible. There was a guy that had a little Samson, and I think it was a Flintstones Surprise at Dino Peak and a Panic Restaurant. $1,200 for Little Samson, $1,200 for Flintstones, $600 for Panic Restaurant. Now, just to give you guys a ballpark idea of what I would realistically pay for those, and this is if they were mint. These had issues. $900 for Little Samson, probably $700 to $800 for Flintstones, and roughly $400 for Panic Restaurant. And I was seeing price gouging all over the place. Some guy had $35 on a copy of Parasite Eve 2 that had radial scratches. And the best deal he could make me was $30. I saw a Resident Evil on Sega Saturn for $70. That's like a $55, $60 game in mint condition. This one had issues with the manual. It was water damaged. I was seeing Final Fantasy 7s for $50 that were player's choice. It was like, what the hell? And so I was just really let down by that. The people I bought off of, I got great deals off of. But there was literally 3 or 4 vendors willing to work with me, and the rest, it was just kind of like, thanks, but no thanks. And the other thing I saw that was really disheartening is there was a vendor there selling reproduction games. They had repros of Mega Man 7, Earthbound, Hagane. And to me, that's like, okay, this is a collector's show. Don't fuck up the market. And I have no better word for it than it's fucking it up. And it just really, really irritates me that was even allowed there. If I would have been the promoter, I would have kindly gone over and told them to pack up their stuff and leave, because it ruins it. It ruins it. You're selling a Mega Man 7 for $35, $40. That's a reproduction, and the guy next door is trying to sell an original for whatever it's going for. I think it's $150. You just shot that dude in the foot because you're selling a fake. I mean, that's what it is. It's a counterfeit. It's a fake. It's bullshit. And don't get me wrong. I own reproductions, but they're games that I can't get anywhere else, like Rekka. I'm not paying $300 for an original Rekka for a loose cart from Japan. You know? The only one I have that is questionable is I have an Earthbound Uncut, which is basically Mother 2 with an English patch that's not censored. So, yeah, okay, that's kind of the gray area, but, flat out one-to-one reproductions, just no. So anyways, enough with the complaining. I'm going to go ahead and dive into the games. We'll start with the Nintendo. First up, I managed to find a copy of Darkwing Duck. I got this from Cerulean Games. He was selling it on consignment. I traded my copy of Nosferatu and cut me a pretty good deal with this. Next up is Contra. I already have this on Famicom. Picked this up. I'm going to clean it up, and I'll probably keep it for a little bit, but this is definitely going to be some trade fodder later on. So, again, I got cut a deal on this. I paid less than retail, and I'll probably use this later on to pick up some other stuff that I'm looking for, but you can't go wrong with having Contra in your collection. And it's got a little dent in the label, but not enough to really decrease the value too much. Not necessarily rare, but one that I've been lacking in my collection. RC Pro-Am. I've always enjoyed this game. My friends at Cerulean Games had a complete and box copy of RC Pro-Am 2 that I think he got from Brian's... No, I take that back. I think he picked it up somewhere in Dayton. But it was a little too rich for my blood, but this is a great game. I'm really glad I have it now, and I definitely have very fond memories of playing this as a kid. Kid Nicky Radical Ninja. Picked this up. I have a friend I work with that's been looking for it, and guy made me a good price on it, so I think once I clean it up, I can probably turn around and flip it for a little bit more than what I paid for it. I complained about the condition, so I got for about half of what he was asking for it. Coming back into the collection and never leaving me again is the original Final Fantasy. I was kind of surprised. I got a really great price on this. It's got a little bit of ick here on the back, but I'll be able to get that off with the magic eraser. And what can I say? You can't get wrong, and this is the last one I needed to complete my original cartridge-based Final Fantasy collection. I now have 1 through 6, and this is the only one that didn't have a translation patch from the Famicom, so I had to get the English one. Moving on, picked up a couple Super Nintendo games. Got the Tetris and Dr. Mario 2-in-1 cartridge. Can't go wrong with those two games. And this is kind of a fun game. I remember playing this in the arcade. Mr. Do. Got a pretty good price on it. It was marked at $25, and I was able to talk the vendor down. I bought a couple other games and made a package deal out of it. So, kind of a neat little tile to have. For the Genesis, I picked up a complete in box Shinobi 3. Unfortunately, it looks like a dog got a hold of it or something, and the hang tabs broke off. But there again, I did a little haggling, and I think I paid a pretty fair price for this. He had it marked at $25, and I definitely didn't pay that much. Moving on to some PlayStation 2 stuff. Now, the PS2 stuff is kind of it's a mix. There's a game in here I bought before CCAG, and there's a bot that I picked up on the way home. So, this one I got at the show, Xenosaga Saga Episode 2. I picked this up with a couple other games, and guy made me a package deal on it. It's complete, pretty good condition. I gotta get this crap off of there, but nothing a little lighter fluid won't take off. Or the magic eraser. This one I picked up Thursday from Warp Zone in Hilliard. They had gotten in a really nice lot of some PlayStation 2 survival horror games. They had this, I think they picked up the Fatal Frame games and the Silent Hills. He got a Rule of Rose in, and he had a really great price on it. So I picked this up. It's, no pun intended, it's kind of an obscure game, but I ended up paying about $12 less than what I saw it at the show for. The show was running $50, and I picked this up. I think I paid $38 after tax on this. So it's a lot of fun. Survival horror game in high school. And it has 2-player co-op and a Sum 41 soundtrack. I mean, how can you go wrong with Sum 41? Greatest band ever, right? After CCAG, I stopped at Game On South High Street in Columbus and got Twisted Metal Black. Not really much else I can say other than it's kind of a fun racing game. One that I thoroughly enjoy. Pleasant surprise, I got a sealed copy of Persona 3 for $20, actually. And I gotta tell you, I turned around and somebody had a loose copy for $40. Exact same thing, opened, no manual, $40. And I got this one for $20. And I think Brian was selling a used copy for $13. So, can't complain. I picked up Persona 4 a bit ago over at Warp Zone, so nice to have this. I got this from Cerulean Games, Clock Tower 2. This was part of my package with Darkwing Duck. Made me a really good deal on it. Excellent condition, as everything from them generally is. Price to sell. Very happy to have this. Wouldn't be a day without some shoot 'em up games. Gradius 3 and 4 on the PlayStation 2. There again, really good condition. It is complete in the box. $10 I think is what I paid for this. Now, I had to pick this one up. My girlfriend is a huge Nightmare Before Christmas fan, and I found this for cheaper than what I saw it at retail. So, picked it up. And I gotta admit, I'm kind of excited to play it too. But whatever. Should be interesting. I mean, can't really go wrong with anything Tim Burton. Picked up some pretty cool strategy guides while I was out. I got the Persona 4 strategy guide, which I just kind of saw it laying in a pile. And I think this one kind of is notorious for having wrong information in it. But it's kind of neat. The artwork inside is pretty neat too. I mean, if anything, it's definitely cool to have just for the art and the hand drawings and everything in it. But whenever I get the game back from my friend, it'll definitely come in handy in trying to beat it. I got a mint copy of the Final Fantasy VII strategy guide from Brady Games. This is the only official one licensed by Squaresoft. Excellent condition. A couple, it's got the one little tear there. Still has the price tag on it, but yeah, I was pretty pleased to find this. There again, I mean, pages are still glossy. They're not stuck together. They're not all bent and torn, and it's pretty hard to find these in this condition. So really good to find that. And then I was walking around and I saw this. It's still sealed. I went on Fleabay, then it's got a little tiny rip there, but it's still technically sealed. So I went on eBay, and these are going for like, they average around $35, $40 a piece, and the guy wanted $20, and I talked him down to $17 on it. So I think I got a pretty good deal, but I mean, it's Street Fighter Monopoly. How awesome is that? Pretty excited to pick this up. I collect Monopoly boards, and this is my second sealed one. The other one is a licensed Ohio State football one that's actually pretty rare that I picked up at a thrift store a while ago for like $5. So, pretty cool to add this one. I'll probably end up opening it up and playing it eventually because I'm just that kind of a person. So, that's pretty much it. I didn't take any video inside the show because, like I said, there really wasn't anything exciting there. And the stuff that was exciting, 90% of it was overpriced. So, nothing really to show. But other than that, took my friend Randall. I did have a good time, and it was cool to run into some old friends and people that I've seen, running the circuit. But that's it. I did sell some stuff. Like I said, I sold my Nosferatu to Cerulean Games. And then I ended up selling my copy of the Peacekeepers just because I really want Rushing Beat Shura. And I can't see owning an inferior version of that game. And what else did I sell? I sold my copy of Double Dragon 3D arcade game on Genesis because it absolutely sucks. And I sold my copy of Landstalkers just because I like tactical RPGs, but I have so many of them. It's like, how many do you need? I got Vandal Hearts on PS1. You don't need anything else. I mean, it's a tactical RPG with lots of blood. So, altogether, out of pocket, I think I paid $200 tops. I want to say $190, $200 out of my pocket. So I think I did pretty good. And that's my video. Like I said, I might go to ACEC. I think that's coming up at the end of August in Columbus. Other than that, probably not much more. So I think I'm going to give it up for a little bit. Probably hold off until next year. But I will say until next time, guys, take it easy.